Go.
And we're just going to have fun today. That's what I'm thinking about. So.
Good morning. I'm Marian LaSalle, and this is my co-host, Russ Johns. And today our wonderful guest is Susan Hamilton. And yes, today's all about having fun, making money, marketing ideas that work. And this is Future Media Association. And our Future Media TV show is happening every Tuesday and every Thursday from 8:30 to 9 a.m. Central Time. So come on in and have a good time. Ask your questions. Get to know our guest because she is rocking it. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning. No, you, Marian and Russ, you guys are rocking it. I'm honored to be included on your show here and get to inspire people with some new media ideas and all of that, because we're at a time of urgency in American business today. Like, we need to make some money and have some time to get some things done.
Yeah, got a place to go. Neat.
That's right. Oh, I love that.
So Marian, here on Future Media TV, marketing ideas that work. I cannot believe I saw the post come up on Facebook, Susan, and it was like a year ago that we started this thing. And, it's amazing how quickly it's gone by and how much we've actually covered in that year and so many changes that have taken place. Like with any business, and you can probably, appreciate this because you coach other businesses, is the fact that you go into something and you have one idea and all of a sudden you get in, you roll your sleeves up, you start working on this idea. We call it rowing the boat. And all of a sudden you think, man, nobody likes my idea. What do I got to do? And sometimes you have to change your ideas or change your positioning in the market of how that idea is being positioned. Or, like Mary and I always kid ourselves, we're in the bubble and we have a hard time seeing what others see about us, our perception. So it's nice. Do you ever have that experience, and how do you get past that?
Russ, nobody ever gets past that. If I got past that, I'd be dead. I'm grateful that you recognize that, because first of all, when we're in that bubble, if it were not for networking and the way that we can social network today in areas like this, now I'm a face person. My preferred method of communication, I've heard people ask that on Facebook a million times, and so many people respond with texts and emails. No, baby, my preferred method of communication is Skype. I want to see your face. I like that. I like to get to know people. I think it's much more intimate more quickly. But if we're not networking, we are in that bubble and we don't know. We've got to build a strong group of peers. Networking isn't just for new business; it's for the peer-to-peer relationship that helps us grow. And iron sharpens iron. That is so necessary. I need to see what's going on in Houston. I need to know what's up with that if I'm going to rock, right? Because that's just really, really important. And what you're saying as far as these, when we get stuck. And we have to. You said something else. I just want to hang out on a minute. You said positioning. Yeah, we have got to. Nobody's going to just pick you up and make you a success, baby. That's all going to be you. We create our own celebrity, and T. Allen Hayne talks about this. One of the reasons I appreciate his message so much. Also, we've got to be able to start doing things differently. Start being willing to position each other differently, and be willing to refine our ideas. Because I think at that point the growth happens.
Well, and I love what you said. We have to, we have to be in it, right? Because the only way that we're going to get feedback, Mary and I have laughed about this on occasion. It's like, hey, if I just do a good job and I'm online and I tweet and on Facebook, somebody eventually is going to notice and say, hey, you're cool, Russ. You should come and work for me, and I want to spend.
Well, that's how I met you.
I want to spend lots of money, It's like, and it doesn't. The workflow doesn't always happen that way. You actually have to get engaged and get online and connect.
Once in a while, it happens, and so you think, "Oh, good, now that's the way to do it," right? So you're jaded because that's not, in reality, that's not how you have a sustained business. Is waiting for people to come to you. You have to go out there and get them. And I love Susan's idea about meeting people in person, whether it's online like this, where I'm seeing you eye to eye, right? Or meeting you in person at a networking event. Either way, it gives you a bond that is irreplaceable. Susan can come and stay at my house when she's here in Houston because exactly, and you have. Why is that? Why would that happen?
Well, first of all, you offered, and that wouldn't have crossed my mind to ask you, but that was very generous of you, Marion.
Well, that's because of the bond that we have created.
Well, I already respected so much what you were doing in business, and I wanted to spend some time with you and really pick your brain and see what you guys are building down there, because I see it's not a Houston thing. It's an international thing, and of course, we've got an American business focus up here with the Offbeat Business Show, and so anything that is a resource like that, people need it. I think one of the things I really like about you and both of you is and I don't want it to sound bad at all, but I happen to have a lot of respect for the age going into this new media, because you and I both know people that just are not comfortable trying new things online, and there seems to be an age factor to that. The younger generation seems to be able to get in here and try new stuff, and they're so savvy and easy. And for the rest of us, it's a little intimidating. But I really like that you're willing to embrace those new things. I think that it sets a tremendously powerful example in the business community. And that is one of the reasons I want to align myself with your message. Absolutely.
Well, the babies are booming right here.
There we go.
You know,
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I want to talk about that for a second, because
dive into that.
We train a lot. We train business owners on how to not only market, but how to use the how to use the technology in a way that makes it easier for them, right? How to automate your business. And you're right, the fear factor usually comes in. However, if we can calm them down and let them know this is actually going to make their life easier,
right. Mm-hmm.
And show them it's not as hard as you think. They're making it easier for us, right? A lot of stuff is just touch a button and it works. And there's someone to call if it doesn't. That, they do calm down and they do take it on. Occasionally we find people that are just, nope, not going to do it. I don't even have a smartphone.
You'll always have that. And hopefully there's something else they'll try. But for the people that are willing to embrace what's happening in digital marketing today, the success factor is huge, and that's exactly why. There's a lot more room at the top.
Right.
You can be struggling and competing with people that are a certain mediocre level and feel like you're never getting anywhere. And I want to encourage everybody listening that usually means that if that's frustrating you, that means it's time for you to get to the other side of that, and that means you're going to have to stretch.
Right.
And that's not easy. You're going to have to do something different and get out there and embrace something that you don't know. You're probably at a spot where you figure you know it all. That's a very dangerous place to be.
Oh, who knows that? Whoever has that thought. Hey, if you have any questions, for Susan, or if you have any questions at all about marketing or technology, please type it in and we will get to it. All right. So Russ, I know you're just dying to ask Susan some questions.
Well, yeah, I absolutely, and I
knew it.
One of those things that this conversation is sparking on is the fact that we are in an age where our kids grew up with an iDevice in their hands. Technology is moving at an incredibly rapid rate, and for older generation that is not used to change at this pace, it's really important for business owners especially to understand that it's not slowing down. So change is going to happen right outside your comfort zone.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's going to be outside of your comfort zone, and recognize that. So what are some things that you're doing in your market and your environment, Susan, that have really you've noticed over the last year that has made a huge impact on some of the individuals that you're working with? Whether it's broadcasting at your show, or it's the words that you write and the content that you produce. Because I think, and I want to get into a little bit of content marketing and some of the elements of that as we go down this line of conversation. So,
go for it, Susan. Well,
give us the scoop.
It's interesting that you said last year, because 2015 was a huge year for, I think, everyone. I don't know of anyone that didn't go through a huge oh, what's the word that's escaping me now? Cocoon period, where it was just kind of a plateau and a learning period where you get to the next level. I did see quite a bit. And I've recognized, and it's helped me refine my message a lot more. And because I believe in always going back and refining that. But one thing that I see is people are starting to understand that if they don't have a strong brand, they're going to be working with the same level of people. And, not to be insulting in any way, but there is money to be made out there in our communities. There's enough money for everybody. Yeah. When it gets too tough, like I'd mentioned before, in your particular area, and you could look at it like, your level, right? Yeah. And you feel like you're treading water, or you feel like your competition's squashing you or whatever, it's because you really need to go in and refine your USP. And what makes you different? What is your strong branding message that is wonderful. I love to come alongside people. That's exactly what we do at the Offbeat Business Show and Magazine, is help them understand what that is, because everyone's excellent at something. And the thing that you can capitalize may not be what if you're thinking that you're some kind of failure because you haven't moved past this area. I'd love to talk with you and let you show you where your light shines, because there is something that you are doing that rocks and totally kicks butt, and other people need it. And if you can capitalize on that and build your brand around that, now all of a sudden these other pieces come into play. People can find you for what they need you for. But it raises you up. See, that strong brand, especially using digital articles, using audio. We've got a radio show, but then we also podcast that baby. And we're learning to get more streamlined about that as it goes as well. And then everything all of our shows are also, I do it. I tape them on this iPad. I love my iPad because that's really why I don't have a lot of applications on it, because I don't want anything slowing down how nice the video quality is. And I use it. I just use this when I'm recording. But I want to make it easy. I want people to take one look at what we're doing and go, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. I'm not real interested in being so perfect with the way that I produce things, although excellent, absolutely excellent, but perfection, no, because we're all going to have to start somewhere. And I just wanted them to see how easy it is to step up and start using it. It's like you said, Russ, it's pushing a button.
Well, okay, Susan. So my next question is, okay, you've got so far, you've found out what your shine is, right? You're ready to take off. What are the marketing ideas that somebody can start with? What is it that we do when we, step one? What do we do?
I think that your step one is really understand what that message is and decide how you're going to deploy it throughout the year. That really has to be number one, because everything else lands on that. And yes, you got to realize it may change, but I use Google. I use Google Drive. And I use Google Spreadsheet, very similar to your guest on Tuesday was talking about. Very simply, start using that information and start gauging what your message is throughout the year and how you want to get it out. Very simply. And then today, I would say you asking me that today is very different from you asking me last year. Because today I would say, pick up your phone and go into your message, and with me, my voice recorder, because I go ahead and get things produced, but it can be that simple. And you can load that baby right, or Spreaker, get your Spreaker or your SoundCloud app, and
get your Spreaker on.
Yeah, get your Spreaker on.
Get your Spreaker on.
I actually have
I talked to a guy. One of my favorite people in the community is doing such wonderful work, and people don't understand his brand, and he feels, he's a genius. How are we going to get that out? And you know what he tells me yesterday? He tells me, you know what, Susan, I have the best conversations in here with my people. If I could just get them recorded for a few minutes and share that information, it's gold. And I said, oh, well, guess how easy that is, because you can download that Spreaker app and start and record that information, and voila, you are developing a strong brand that everything I do now can hinge on. Yeah. And you just made it that much easier to amplify your what you offer in the community, because I looked for this guy. One of the reasons I just love him. I looked for him when Randy had a stroke last October. I wanted this particular kind of doctor. Couldn't find him anywhere. And I'm very frustrated with the choices I had. Now here, this genius was in an office building I was visiting on a regular basis. Had no idea.
Isn't the world a
said,
small place?
I'm not the only one looking, right? People need you.
Yeah.
How can we help you get found?
That's fantastic. And that's one of the reasons we are so excited about this platform, is because the people that don't have that voice, they don't have the technology, they don't have the availability of time and effort to produce and learn all these things. Like yourself, you had an iPad, you jumped on the show, and all of a sudden, bam, it's online, it's streaming live on our website. We can archive it, we can share it on social. You can have your message anywhere in the world, anytime, like that. And by using some of these technologies and not thinking about how complicated it is, your message gets out. It's not,
and I was just going to say, sometimes the hiccup isn't that it's complicated. Sometimes the hiccup is they're mortified that, oh, wow, this message is not perfect yet.
Yeah. Perfection paralyzes.
Yes, sir.
Perfection.
So that's why a lot of people do need a coach. They do need a mentor. They need someone to talk to, because we're human beings and we all have stumbling blocks. And some of those stumbling blocks are ridiculous to us, but they're big in their life. Okay. So like, I'll give you an example. We do video a lot. Net light comes on, the blood drains out of their face, and they look at me like, the camera's on, what am I going to do now? And so my suggestion for that fear is to just do it. Keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and don't care about how perfect it is, right? But the other things are, what are people going to say? What are people going to, what if I say something wrong? I've heard people say that to me.
Yes.
Well, what if I say something wrong? Now what? It's like,
oh, no, it's live, right?
Yeah. It's like, wow. If you let that stop you, then gee whiz, I guess you better go get a job.
Well,
because.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Slam it, girl.
Sorry.
Yes. That's true.
That'll scare them into doing it.
Entrepreneur and an employee.
Right.
It absolutely is. Are you willing to take that chance? Absolutely, Marion.
If you're willing to work for somebody else's dream, go right ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry to be so harsh, but I'm not really that harsh when I'm talking to somebody.
Sometimes you need somebody to just kick your butt and say, get after it. Don't allow perfection to paralyze your future. So I want to also mention, for those that are just joining us, that Rare Future Media TV and Susan Hamilton, one of the many authors in Lone Star Media Leaders. This is a book that we published for Future Media Association last year, and it's been a tremendous ride. And some of the things that we're doing with these authors and some of this talent that we have here locally, right in your backyard, we're bringing these people together and in this show and talking about marketing ideas at work. Marion LaSalle and I, we get in some fun-loving shenanigans here and there. And we love to have you ask questions, reach out and contact with us, connect with us, track us down on Twitter, Facebook. We're on this social thing. I give the internet another 5 years and it's over with, right? So let's make sure that we're asking questions when we have the opportunity. So thank you for being here. Matt Hugo, first day on welcome them. Woohoo. Thank you for being here. And so what are some other things that are the roadblocks or in your roadmap for 2016, Susan?
I'll tell you what, I made two choices early on. So we have an app. If you haven't downloaded the Offbeat Business app, do that. Because you can stay abreast of business to business, business for business, expert information, but created by business owners of every single kind of business. We show them how to magnify their greatness through our platform, but then you can access that information through our app. And so one of the questions early on as I began learning to use it, it's not just, you have an app. You have to learn then how to use it for your money. You can actually promote, and we'll be able to offer our people and everybody who's a member of the Offbeat Business Association ways to promote them very simply and easily through this app, through communicating with people in that way. So that's new. And for a while I toyed with, well, does that mean I don't need to do my email anymore? And I really couldn't get excited about sending another email when I learned about what you could do with push notifications using an app. But recently I've realized, you know what? No, I'm going to go ahead and use both of them, and I've got a strategy for both of them. Yeah. And it took thinking it through. It took taking some time and really thinking through what's the very best way to make sure I'm amplifying everyone's message and really getting them on board with what we're doing as we're rebuilding American business influence locally, nationally.
Well, I dropped your link to offbeatbusiness.com in the chat window. So anybody can go click on that after the show. So we'd love to have you follow up with Susan, and it's great to be able to connect with these people and yourself. And so, Marion, what else is happening in our world?
I lost
Marion's video. You can't see me, Susan?
No, I can't see you.
Russ, can you see me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
And then you made me as a co-host now, finally.
It just automatically, or however you say that. So yes, I think that we need to try what's best for us, first of all. Work with a mentor, work with a coach, work with a friend, a mastermind, something, right? Go to networking events. Mm-hmm. You need that feedback to figure out what it is that is best for you, what fits your personality, and just go for it.
The USP, right?
Exactly. Yes.
It is.
And working with someone that has been there, done that, and can see things that you can't is even somebody, your peers that are real close to what you're doing. You just can't see it yourself when you're involved in your own stuff. So I highly recommend that is the first thing that you do, is you reach out to people you trust, find somebody that really can give you some feedback, and then pick which medium you want to go for, start there, and go for it.
Do you coach, Susan? Do you coach clients?
I coach my sponsors. I do things a little bit differently. So I've done the business coach thing. I'm still a content therapist. First and foremost. Content therapist.
That's awesome. I love that.
You know what? Because we all have a message, and sometimes it just needs to be decided out, right? We just need to figure out how to find that. And I help people really think it through and look at when they're throughout the entire year. How does that matter, and how can we plug in no matter when we start? How can we start developing a baseline? Because your first year, I don't care how popular it is and how many coaches tell me I'm wrong, that your first year in content marketing is going to be an experiment, and you are learning. And if you will collect that data going forward wisely and pay attention to the ebbs and flows of what matters to your community, you'll start to realize what you change and alter your next go around and really improve it. And the people that are really making leaps and bounds are doing that. And you'll start seeing a difference. 2 to 3 years, you will realize you're not working in this group down here. You've elevated your brand. You are way up here, because understanding your consumer and understanding what that communication means is the one thing that's going to set apart everything that you do in your business, that will make you that excellent person that you want.
You know, I have one other thing to add to that, because I think what she said is very important, and we really should take that recording and play it over and over again. The second thing that I think is very important is that you get clarity about what you do and go focus on that. Get known for that, so that people, when they think of a problem, they think of you. Because if you try to be everything to all people, which we all of us want to do, we want to help everybody, right?
Who would we say no to, right? Who would we say no to? Well, learn to say no, and it'll blow your mind.
I know it.
Yeah.
You know, even though I knew that before, I've been told that before, I didn't really click in until Russ and I decided to focus on live streaming television, shows like this that we're having here today. Once we decided on that, oh my goodness, people are hiring us left and right. It's like amazing. It's a miracle.
It's a different conversation.
It is a miracle. But, you know, on top of just making that decision and moving forward in that decision, by the way you create your content and the way you get clear there, actually will start doing that refining for you. You will start to draw the people that you really want to work with, and the people that really aren't into your message, you're not going to be spending all your time convincing. And that's the difference. right? We don't need to be spending all of our time in business convincing people why they
Right.
need us. That's
Right.
the wrong approach. The approach has to be, I know exactly how to help these people do that. Now the resource can be seen. Now you've unearthed the gold.
Well, this has been a tremendous value, Susan, and thank you so much for being here today and joining us on Future Media TV. And, you know, for those that have just joined us late, Susan Hamilton is a rock star in the state of Texas, and she's one of the authors in Lone Star Media Leaders, and a book that we sponsored through T. Allen Haynes, our sponsor, and Future Media Association. And there's some things in that book that we're bringing out and marketing ideas that work. And it's some of those ideas and those little nuggets of knowledge that you get in between the lines, you know, in the conversations, and you have these little moments that are kind of, you know, unscheduled and uneventful. And then later on you think about them and you say, wow, that made a difference in my life. And these shows and these little chats that we have on Future Media TV are like that. That's the essence that we want to bring to the table, is the secret sauce that brings it all together, that people can actually have a casual conversation and really start refining their ideas. So
getting clear.
Getting clear is fantastic. So
because if you're clear, your prospective clients are clear about how you can help them. And that's my big takeaway for 2015 is clarity.
Yeah.
You know.
It really is. It's mine too, Marianne. Because in that moment, you've just made it super easy to do business with you. And that's what we want to be. Everybody wants things fast. They want things now. And so really loving people, our focus this month is all on the love month. And our focus on really loving people is recognizing that you are, that you're loving people when you make it as easy as possible for them to find the resources that they need. And so that might mean you have to learn how to do something different. That might mean you have to stretch and grow and meet people and learn your freaking elevator speech. It is hard to start there. And oh wow, I've got to stand up and introduce myself. Yeah, do it a lot. Do it a lot, and while it may be real uncomfortable, you're going to come away from it being who you need to be. That's the type of education we have to be giving ourselves right now.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you so much. And
that's it for today.
We're going to be back here next Tuesday. Everyone, you have a fantastic weekend, and
we appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Susan Hamilton. She lives in the state of Texas, which is awesome. And I get to see her every once in a while because she's in Dallas and we're in Houston, but we can meet somewhere in the middle and hang out, which I just absolutely love. So be sure and contact Susan. She's got so many great things going on that she didn't even mention today.
And we're going to have her
got
back.
A magazine, a radio show. Yes, yeah, we'll have to do that. Sorry, I couldn't type anything in over here, so I have no idea what was said or any links. But I'm sure Russ took care of it. But please do touch her somehow, and she's online. You can't miss her.
I'm right here. Touch me. Right here.
Yes, and
it is. I mean,
go visit offbeatbusiness.com and join Susan in her mission to help others. And
there you go. There you go. And we'll see you back here next Tuesday from 8:30 to 9 and again on Thursday. Thank you. See you again soon. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.